Hey, Hope. Back here this week, scouting some more, doing a little scouting trip. Just got in the woods right off the parking lot, not maybe 50, 60 yards, and I kicked up a little fawn. I'm sure the mama's around here somewhere, but you know what they say about looking at close into parking where a lot of people don't go. I know it's summertime, and not a lot of people are back here right now, so that could be part of it, but everything's so thick around here, it wouldn't surprise me if this is an overlooked area. But anyway, I'm going to put in a couple miles today, see what we find. We're in the timber, and we'll see what we find. Hopefully we'll get into some stuff, and I'll be back with you in a little bit. All right, so in here another 50, 100 yards or so, and seen some, some scat and looks like some doe poop, and found some historical rubs. Here's one of them right here. Kind of low, but definitely interesting. Looks like there's a creek down there, down this little bottom right here. There's not a lot of elevation change on this WMA. You got swamps and stuff like that here. A very diverse habitat. So I think any elevation that these deer can get, they're going to be traveling along. Again, we're not far from the access, but I think that areas like this can often be overlooked. So I'm poking around in here on the start of this loop and going to see what I can find. So stay with me. All right, so starting to still a historical sign, but definitely a rub line. I mean, you can see here this rub here, kind of a little on the low side, but definitely hitting up a little bit. Notched out pretty good. Probably a decent buck, 2.5-year-old probably. But anyway, here we are going down this trail right here. Kind of coming through, navigating. You can see the trail pretty well used even this time of year. And there's some doe poop. Looks like doe poop, maybe small buck. So obviously this is a trail that they are using. Again, not, but maybe 150 yards from the parking area. I think it's be interesting to kind of throw a hunt at it or so early season while they still got thick stuff and not a lot of pressure. But obviously access is going to be key. But interesting, very interesting. So I'm going to continue along this trail and hook around the loop that I plotted out on X as the plan today. So stay with me. All right, so we eventually got to this little point here where it looks like they could be dropping off really any point of this hill. Probably bedding somewhere in here nearby. I see another historical rub over there, which I feel like those are important. I mean, I know that some people don't, but I mean, I think most people think that they're important. I mean, obviously nothing recent has come through here, but it does show that bucks have used the area before, so I kind of put a little bit more weight on them than most, I guess. But anyhow, we've got this little point dropping off. I'm gonna see where I could pick up the trail down to the bottom and look for some tracks to pull back up out of there and see where we go. So stick with me. This is I'm liking this as a potential overlooked early season area right here. All right, so I'm down to that bottom off that point. You can see where they're kind of crossing through here and meandering around those logs up there. Sorry, that camera work was terrible. So anyway, I was just up on that point a little bit ago, and I came back down and kind of walked around that down tree over there and came down and picked up some tracks in this bottom. Kind of a marshy, kind of a swampy, not really swamp, but a swampy bottom, kind of a drainage. And gonna head back up this way. Looks like where they're coming up the hill. So yeah, we'll see what we can find. I mean, it's looking pretty good in here. Haven't found any scrapes or community scrape sites just yet, but probably just a matter of time. Again, I'm liking what I'm seeing though in terms of deer sign just in general, and of course historical rubs is signifying some buck sign. But anyway, we'll keep on. You can see some tracks right here coming through. Man, it stinks down here. Yeah, oof. Something kind of dead or something. Anyway, we'll keep on coming up here. See it? Swampy mess. All right, coming up out of here. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Yeah, I kind of like the way this is kind of navigating. So anyway, that might be a bed. A little local bed, but matted down pretty good. Anyway, I don't really think it's a bed. But anyhow, you can see where, you know, this kind of, not a lot of elevation change, but enough to make it interesting. So kind of taking a little bit of a hill country approach today, even though this is not really hill country, because I think that they're doing some similar things. So alrighty, we'll keep on going. Alright, so I'm a little bit further along that path, and I think I found some bedding here. Looks pretty matted down. Kind of hard to see if there's any like hair in it, even if it's time of year, but you can see it's kind of thick. Not quite at the bottom of the hill, but it just went through a lot of open timber and got to this area. Got a lot of blowdowns and stuff, and I could see a buck really liking it in here. There's an old turtle shell. You know, you can see where it's matted down. I'm not really seeing any rubs per se anywhere around the bedding here, so hard to say if this is maybe some does, but it looks and kind of feels bucky. It's kind of thick all the way around, and a little bit of a thermal hub going on here too, so they can draw all the swirling scents and stuff. Although it is a little on the low side on it in terms of elevation, so I mean they're not going to get much of a sight advantage. Plenty of escape routes, but noteworthy nonetheless. But I'm sort of really impressed with how it looks on this side. I didn't expect it to be quite as tore up with trails and stuff like that through here. So very much on the radar for early season. So I'm going to keep on going here. All right, just got down to the bottom. You see some like no tracks in here coming across. Thick as hell. Not far off the access. There's a little access path over here to the right, but it looks like it's a mess down here where they have a little old bridge that you can't get across. You gotta get in the creek here. Not saying this could keep anybody out of here, but a little annoying. I have no idea how deep we are. Not super deep. Maybe a mile. 3/4 of a mile maybe. But I've been walking all the way through the woods here. You see these little trails right here coming through. You can see it's gonna pop out on this access path down here. Check this out a little bit. See what we see, if I can pick up any crossings. Circle back around and then get back in the woods. So coming out. Oh, sorry about that. Coming out. Here we go. It's at the access path. So anywho, yeah, that little bridge I was telling you about's right over here, where you can see that I mean, it looks like probably game crossing there, maybe some people, but I mean, I don't want to walk across that. It's only a couple foot drop, but you could definitely turn an ankle or something, so why not walk around it, right? But it's the other side. Looks like it's Looks like they cut in from the other side because it looks pretty fresh cut over there. Maybe they're going to put something here or just remove that junk. It's all foot traffic only back here anyway, so can't imagine that they're going to put a lot of work into it, that little part. But anywho, I'm going to keep on keeping on, see what I see. Lots of, so far, just a little recap on where we're at. Lots of good solid trails, a lot of poop and stuff, and I'm hearing thunder now, so probably need to start heading back to the truck. Lots of historical rubs, no fresh rubs, but I get the feeling like it's a good area early season, possibly, or it's a good area to hit when the pressure is really starting to mount. Because I think people are just going to walk past that thinking they got to go really deep. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting over here, but I don't know. You never know until you really hunt it, right? So I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did jump a little doe. Actually, it was a fawn earlier, and I didn't see the mama, but you know, that's always fun to see. And that was only about 50 yards from the parking lot. I think I did say that earlier, but anyway, all in all, you know, there's no better sign than a live deer, even if it's a fawn. Yeah, enjoying this little excursion in the woods, and the temps are not bad today, given the rain coming in, but I have to get myself back a little ways here, because I just heard thunder, like I said, and you know, I didn't really bring any rain gear, so yeah, if I get wet, I get wet. All right, back at you in a bit. All right, so just walking a little bit further down that access path and found some bedding. This is obviously nighttime kind of, you know, bedding, or who knows, it could be bedding during the day this time of year. I mean, it's summertime, so, you know, I doubt very seriously that bedding here during hunting season. But anyway, I just figure I'd show it to you. They obviously are down here for a reason. I think, you know, they could, it's a likely food. But anywho, wanted to show it to you because you can see those beds right there, right in there. So very interesting. Alrighty, keep on going. All right, gonna wrap this up. That storm, I just looked at the radar and lots of lightning and stuff, so gonna get out of the woods. And like I said, kind of a shorter scouting trip today, but good stuff. And dang, is that a rub? Nothing like a deer sign to pull you off of distract you from lightning. Sure as hell looks like one, a big one too. Hang on. Let me just pop over here and take a look. Take 2 seconds. Hopefully the lightning will hold off for a second. But this is a fortuitous little find, I think. Oh yeah. Oh man. That's a dang good rub. Wow. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Look at that sucker. That's what we're looking for. Right off the access path. So I'm saying this is nighttime activity. Give you an idea. It's about, sorry. That's my stick right there. So, you know, its tines are hitting up high, which is, for me, chest high. I'm about 5'9", 5'10". So, yeah, I mean, this is good. So I think I'm going to mark this, and we're going to try and pick up this rub line back to where I was earlier and complete this loop when the weather improves. But I got to get out of here before the storm hits. Thought I just heard some steps. All right. Anyway, good way to conclude the video. If I see anything else on the way out, I'll jump back on. If not, we'll catch you next time. I think we're planning on doing a little, some shooting this afternoon from the saddle. Probably videotape a little bit of that too, if the weather holds out. Of course, I'm about 45 minutes from my house, so you know, the weather here, weather there could be vastly different in Virginia. But yeah, thanks for tagging along, and talk to you next time. All right, grinding. You could tell I'm pretty red from that hike out. Had to dodge a few bolts of lightning, so to speak, and not really. I mean, it's about to hit. I got out in time, so. But impressive rub there that I found at the end, which is honestly an area that I had seen some rubs last time I was out here, back to where I hung a few cameras, and today I wanted to actually tie into that off of where I came from, and basically try and find that trail back to bedding. There is some uber thick stuff not far from there, which I suspect there's bedding in, and it would not surprise me at all if that buck that left those rubs, that big rub, is bedding right in there on occasion. I don't think it's visual bedding. I think it's probably more scent type bedding and sound. Probably more scent, because you're dealing with a lot of thick pines and stuff like that. There's a lot of edge there with the hardwoods, which is great too. They tend to like to travel that. But if a big buck could get his antlers through it, then I'm thinking he's probably bedding in there quite a bit. Because if you visualize a pie slice, okay, you come to like a fork in the road, and I could see him bedding right in maybe 40-50 yards into that pie slice where the two roads jut off, you know, in either direction, because he could cover the scent. He could get the scent of people coming back in there when they're hunting and know when they're in there, which tells me he's probably in there on a, I'm gonna guess, probably a southeast wind is probably, I'd have to look at the map, but probably some sort of a south wind, so he can get that scent, which would mean that once I get in there and find his bedding, I'm going to need to think about access and where I can hunt that deer, because I don't think he's going to be anywhere near where, here's the rain, I don't think he's going to be anywhere near where that rub was during daylight hours, where he's killable. So anyway, great find there at the end, and the trails were great. Really super stoked about finding what I did right off the parking lot. One of the parking lots. It's a front parking lot. There's a couple others, and I think it's a lesser used one, because people want to go deep, they want to go back, and I get it. I'm the same way, really, most of the time. But I think one of the keys to one of the areas I'm going to focus on this year is not so much getting so deep, but hunt where the people aren't. You know, hunting, trying to figure out where people are going is in my mind now like 80-90% of the game, because the deer are going to be where the people are not. So and then you got to think about accessing getting in there. So anyway, great day, and I'm heading over to Kenny's house to do a little shooting if the weather holds off, and probably do a little video in there too.